And that's what the fuck this is. Dion legitly was pulled, right? Asked to he let's talk about blackness, right? Because this nigga left a HBCU to go perform at a white school, did he not?
He did.
Okay, got it. So they gave him a chance. They gave him extra money, you know, and this same system that he supports, right? He decides to, say snarky things about, oh, I want my son here. You don't make the rules.
But
And this
but
is
didn't Elon Manning's dad
it,
do the same thing?
but it don't matter.
Eli, I mean.
It doesn't matter. At
So
the
I'm
end of the
saying,
day,
but
you
they
have to.
didn't give him that. So I'm trying to figure why is it a strong black father is
Okay, so let me ask
looked
you a
at
question.
differently than a strong white father?
Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend that there are not systems that are caught up based upon racial identities, right? So if I have somebody who look like me, right, I am more likely to favor them based upon I would favor another person based upon history and just how it's set up. That's what's right now. um, his, I mean, his son did get drafted, did he not? But it's like first of all, you already know how this fucking system is set up and how you you know you're not supposed to be a black man running your mouth like that. You know better.
So wait a minute. Are you
Y'all know
saying black men
y'all know
know
yes,
better
because they
and
don't
he
own the
need to act
system.
better?
They don't own yes. Yes, especially
No.
yes. You know why? Hold
Zion.
on. Let me tell you why, Southern Belle. Because when he had the opportunity to be a boss, he left there and went to go be with the white man. So you can't disregard your community and go support another one, right? And put money into their motherfucking pockets and then act like and then disregard. You can't play and be a part of the system and then say fuck the system.
So
That's
wait,
not how
hold,
that
pause right
works.
there. Pause there. So you said you can't play and be a part of the system and say F the system. How
Yep.
does it hold on? I want to speak to that one point. How do we make the system better if some of us don't play the system and challenge the status quo? How
Uh,
do we make it better?
Southern Belle? What do you need to? What do you need to make better? I mean, these men are making millions and millions and millions of dollars a day on deals just based upon dribbling a fucking football every year. What else do you need to do? Like what how was the system fucked up? Can we like break that down? They started to get more people. I mean, and then here's another thing too. When people were asked to boycott and to support things, nobody actually did it. We have to stop this whole idea of wanting to be in the white man system and then just out of nowhere randomly disregard that motherfucker. It don't work that way. Go create your own motherfucking system. There are billionaires in this world that can buy basketball teams and football teams and make it their point and make sure that this shit don't ever happen again. I
So
mean, look.
are you of the belief that the same would apply for any other employer? So like the Fortune 100 companies that have all kind of racism and biases and issues, or will you say the black people, the black C-suite folks,
The
or those that are
people.
in hold on administration, should we not be trying to actually challenge those systems to get them right? Should we just say nope? It's not our system. We
Yeah.
don't own it. The founder
Yes.
is not black, so we don't
Yes.
need to say
Yes,
anything.
even if the founder is black, it's the fucking same. But let me tell you something. Miss Talk about. Let's talk about this. Imagine you have a motherfucking business and you signing up people to make tens of millions of dollars, and then instead of they're going out there instead of coming to talk to you, they out here making tweets about your company. Would you feel comfortable enough to hire more people who come from that family? Because let's not pretend that this is every black man that this is happening to. This is one specifically, right? This is Deion Sanders' son.
Okay.
Why is it like this is like I don't understand why do we feel that we can
But
disrespect businesses and then y'all think that it can't happen. Y'all understand this is the same reason why they didn't hire
Sir,
Colin
sir,
Kaepernick back because at
sir.
the end of the day he decided to boycott. Listen, this is y'all are taking business and bringing race to it. And I wonder where is Deion Sanders with all of this race shit when he left HBCU and went to go suck the white man off? Where was this? Now we all supposed to be like, kumbaya, my lord. It wasn't racism when he went to go motherfucking take that $10 million deal and let them people at them damn HBCUs to motherfucking suffer. If he wanted to make a point, he should have stayed with them black folk, okay? Because he knew he's a football player. He know how that works. He knows that they're gonna punish you. And I don't think that it had anything to do with the son. I think it had everything to do with his father. And because of his father's big fucking mouth, right? Because let me tell you something. If you want to fight the system, you don't fight it loudly. You don't show them how you going to war. You don't come and make tweets like a fucking child. You know what you do? You go communicate with people and be a fucking man and have conversations at the motherfucking table. That's what a child does. And this is why they don't treat these men like men. And it's because, and here's another thing that we need to talk about. We need to talk about how the man in this motherfucking community, if he wants to be labeled as the man, he needs to act like it. His ass should have been at the table. He has millions and millions of dollars. What he
So
should have been having a
again,
conversation. Hold on,
I ask
wait,
you.
hold on, wait,
Okay, go ahead.
hold on, wait. His conversation should have been, hey, listen, I left my people for you. Make it work now. Behind the scenes. And I bet you his son would have motherfucking happened. When he want to come out and make tweets and make little snide remarks when it comes down to certain things. We don't do that. And that's not in any business. And then want to talk about, oh, it's a black thing. It's not a black thing because guess what? The black men in the NBA are making the most motherfucking money. They're getting the most deals, even with their ratchetness. And let's not even talk about how they, one, gave them jobs when they rapists, right? They still keep them when they fucking shooting up guns and shooting up schools. They just fine them a bit. They do a lot to keep them boys on that motherfucking field. They ignore a lot. And now we're here. And this guy still wants more. We want the worst out of it. We want to be able to disrespect companies and then be able to think that no, you don't do that, especially when it corporations. Gatekeepers don't like disrespect. And I also think, I hate to say it, but we don't understand that there's an esoteric side to this. These men are being initiated in these things. They don't want no motherfucker initiated at the top that is considered a rebel. Then he gonna come in and niggify the whole thing, and then they're gonna have a whole fucked up, what is it called?
You you don't want them to be free thinkers. You want them to be followers, the
Uh,
doers.
we don't
Do
pay
as
them
we
to
say.
think. We pay them to throw footballs.
Shut up and throw. That's what
Period.
you want
Go.
them to
You
say.
know what? If you want to think, go make your own business.
That's unfortunate. But what's weird about what you're
What do you
saying?
need to think about? And
What?
what? Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
I'm confused. What do when you sign up for a job? There's a contract, right? Is there not a contract?
Yes, they do sign contracts.
So I'm confused. If there's a contract there, how you want to come into a corporation and just still do whatever the fuck you want to do? How does that work?
How do things ever change and improve if we don't challenge the system? That's what's weird to
Can,
me.
can I? Can
And
I?
and
What
and
is the
think about,
problem with
and
the system?
I still want to go back to the example. We didn't have when Elon Manning's dad said he will not play. Nobody said, "Oh my God, he's not following the rules. He's not doing what he's supposed to do." He's no. Nobody looked at him as arrogant. No one said he was wrong and he was all these things. They worked with the man because they knew how much of an asset he would be.
Oh,
Why?
oh, oh, so
Why
you
are the
mean,
fathers seen differently? Why?
so it's so funny. So you
Other
mean
than the color of their skin.
after still being rebellious, they saw him being good and say, "Hey, listen, sir, let's give you a check," and he decided to disrespect them more. I have a problem. If the system was so fucking bad, why are all of these niggas working in it? They can stop the system right now. They can drop it all and just stop playing. If the system is so disrespectful, how is Deion Sanders being disrespected? I just want to know. He's not even playing football right now, and he's has a $10 million a year contract to yell at some fucking kids all day. I want to know what's wrong with this system. This system allowed him and people like TeBron to skip their low maintenance, low playing ass kids and put them on basketball teams. Can we also talk about, let's bring it back off of a black level because I know that's the triggering. Let's compare his stats to the other football players' stats. Did they match?
He
I was
was
just about to
ranked.
say, I
He
was
was
just about to,
ranked in the top 10.
but hey everybody. Like Shador was like out of the quarterbacks, he was like second or third ranked, but he wasn't like the top person, the top QB for it
I would
came
agree
out.
with that.
Yes, he was in the top two or three. So it was between him, Cam Ward, who was another black man, and Jalen Milroe, who was another black man who played for Alabama.
Roll Tide. That's true, and everybody knows that he has areas for improvement. So nobody's saying he's perfect. What we're saying is he was purposefully overlooked. And that looks bad on behalf of the NFL. It does because it the whole point of the NFL, you're supposed to be recruiting people and retaining people based on talent and talent alone. But clearly when you look at this and you look at the rankings, you look at the awards that he's received, clearly it's obvious that other things are at play. And then now you say, what are those other things that are at play? And when you factor in all those things, that's when you get into the biases that exist. And it becomes,
No.
it's not about, hold on, then it becomes not a quad quanti- quantitative, measure, right? Of their person's ability to be successful in the league, but some other, arbitrary factors. And that's not good.
Okay.
Oh,
Abyssal, go ahead.
hello, everybody. I'll make this quick, but do like the Shador Sanders situation? Like his dad, Dion, literally went on like this talk show. I think it was the Jennifer Hudson show. I don't know, but he basically was very disrespectful. He said that there are certain teams he won't let his son play for, and that he won't. He's basically told his son that he shouldn't pick up the phone for certain people because he know how the industry is. And it's just like I feel like he should have had a conversation with his kids and like behind closed doors. And I feel like people are punishing his son because of him. Like his son was projected to be like at least within the first round, and clearly him not being in the first round had something, it was like a direct correlation to what his father was doing. And I think people are like triggered because they're trying to blame it on like, oh well, he's a black father and he was very active in his life throughout like his whole career. Like Deion Sanders coaching his kids, he was like deemed as like a good person, and like it didn't shift until he started to be disrespectful. So I really don't understand like why some people are just trying to blame this just on the fact that they don't want to see a black man succeed, when the reality is they always shined a light on him and his kids. And I don't know like everything about like his son's like stats and stuff, but I've seen like people talk about how he's like a decent player and he should have been, at least if he wasn't in the first round, he should have went to the second. So clearly if he was in the fifth, it's definitely something deeper than just him being black and them just not wanting him to be successful just based off of that. Like
So
his father
Can
definitely
I
dropped.
can I
I would
ask you
ask you the same
something?
question,
Can
sweetheart.
I finish really
Can-
quickly though?
Yeah.
um I just think that, a lot of people are very triggered as always when it comes to like, black children or black men and their sons. They get a little triggered about like where they place and how the industry is treating them. And it's like his father knows how the industry is, and knowing how the industry is, it's very cutthroat. I know a lot of people who are in the league. I grew up, I have certain family members, and you have to abide by what they tell you to do. It's not really that hard. You go in the field and you play and you help them win games. And if you can't do that, and if you want to be disrespectful, they're going to treat you how they treat you. You and Ion, you are 100% correct. They do not own the industry. They refuse to create their own shit. Dion left that HBCU a few years ago after he said he wasn't going to do that, and then he took them to that school. They gonna retire their son's jerseys when they should not even. I don't even think they should have did that until after the draft if he was, in the first round or whatever. It's just like everything that Deion Sanders did for his sons, he was praised for. Now all of a sudden, because he's at odds with the league right now, people are saying, "Oh, it's because he's black." I don't think it's a race thing as well. I just think he just bit off more than he could chew, and you can't bite the hand that feeds you, and that's all I really got to say.
So I'll ask
So,
you the same question.
mhm.
When another white father also said where his son wouldn't play, what do you find? How do you validate the difference in how one family and father was treated, father son dynamic versus the other, if it doesn't have anything to do with race?
Wait, did he get picked or didn't he?
He got picked.
He
He got
got
He
picked
got
up by the
picked.
Cleveland Browns, but the thing that is questionable, I hear what you're saying, but the fact that just because Deion Sanders spoke out because he's been in the NFL his whole life, now he's being quote unquote disrespectful. Fuck out of here.
And that's
Like, what
why
are you talking about?
I wanted her
Just
Wait,
to
so
say,
because
you
he's
why
mean
is
speaking up.
Dion disrespectful
wait,
and
so you
Eli
mean hold on,
Manning's
wait.
dad
So
wasn't
you mean
disrespectful?
you
So
got
can
all
she
these
answer that
connections?
question?
Hold on, wait. You got all these connections to upgrade your contract to go play at a PWI, but you don't got enough connections like LeBron to call somebody on a back end and make sure that your son is good. I mean, what were you playing for the whole fucking
No,
time if it's not to make
Why
connections
does
for your
he have to
son?
say it
Ion,
on the back end when
honestly, I
What
another
do you mean
father
believe
if
said it
his
on
that.
the
son?
front
So
end?
do we want him to be a good father or not?
Why is it bad when another father said the same thing and he
Oh,
wasn't
so
bad?
So
wrongs make a right. So
Peyton and
we
Eli.
want him to be like the white man.
No, no,
I'm
no.
saying, why are you
But there's
labeling him as
clearly two
bad?
different
She
sets
said
of
he was
rules.
disrespectful. I'm asking how. Eli Manning said the same thing. He wasn't labeled
Yeah, but
disrespectful.
Elon Manning's people, they run the corporation. So he can be disrespectful a
Exactly.
bit. So you know what? Just like if he want to be disrespectful, he should create his own like Kanye West
So
did.
then that's why you can have to say race plays a factor because the same behaviors was not seen as disrespectful. But she came up here saying he was disrespectful.
Okay, I don't think his
Like
race
if
They
I
plays a
said,
both
huge
they both hold
factor.
on, wait. They both were disrespectful.
Exactly.
So then race played a factor. You said it wasn't race, it was the disrespect. I'm telling you, a white dad
No,
did the
I
same
think it's
thing and he
systems and
wasn't
I think
labeled
it's
I'm
ranking. And
talking to the young lady who
I
said he
think
was
that y'all
disrespectful.
believe that Deion Sanders, just because he was a puppet, that he was bigger than what it is, and the industry had to do it. Because let me let you know something. Let's talk about it. LeBron can be disrespectful, right? And his ass still got his son in that motherfucking lead. Jay-Z can still talk shit about the Grammys publicly and still get his wife a motherfucking Grammy, okay? A
but
lot of these other football players can do whatever the hell they want and make sure that they still get a thing. Here's the thing: Deion Sanders is a puppet, and he's always been okay. If he was strategic and if he was a good father, he would have been behind the scenes making sure that things worked for his son instead of reacting on his emotions. Deion is very emotional, right? As a man, and that's very problematic of him. And then they put him in order, right, like they do the rest of them, as they should. They said, "Hey, listen, you don't want us to pick up the phone for a few people? Okay, that's fine. Let's say they did call his ass, and his son said no to one of them. Do you know how embarrassing that would have been to them at all? So let them, and y'all have to stop believing just because people are rich that they have some motherfucking power. Obviously, the white man can summon him when he can because they summoned his ass from a fucking black school from the Negroes and told him go help the white people. That's
Ion,
how much power he have.
true.